Right, Black Widow, Black Widow. Hey, 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 guys. Red Marvel here, back again with another review. If you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel, and obviously follow us on Twitter as well at Red Marvel 10. We've also got a Twitch channel as well, Red_Marvel 10. So head over to there. So, yeah, guys, this is basically going to be a review of Black Widow. I watched it yesterday. And overall, I'll just give my general thoughts. Obviously, bearing in mind this is spoilers, 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 spoiler review, spoiler review. This is spoiler review, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. I'm going to say again, spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, this is going to be a spoiler review. So just bear that in mind. So with that out of the way, getting stuck into it. Now, first and foremost, I think overall this is a solid movie. It is a solid movie. Entry into the MCU. It does, I guess, follow the form of the Winter Soldier-esque or spy-like thriller type format, and you see that as we get on. But I do think that, sorry, I do think that the final act kind of does let down this movie, and I have a few issues with the way that certain characters were held, notably Taskmaster, in this movie going forward. So the whole movie obviously starts with the backstory. You know, you see Natasha in her childhood with her sister, who, in my opinion, actually outshone acting-wise Scarlett Johansson in this movie. They go over a bit of stuff. I'm just giving a brief summary about it all, but essentially you find out that they didn't really have any real parents, moving around. Alexei, who's kind of Red Guardian, who seems to only care about fighting against Captain America, Red Guardian, whatever. He's an undercover agent for Russia, as is a mom, and who's got the main lead of the Red Room or whatever. And basically find out that these guys are working for this guy called Draco, who's basically an English guy trying to do an Russian accent, who's basically creating this kind of Winter Soldier-esque program, Black Widow program, to basically destabilize powers, control the world, etc., kidnapping women that people don't seem to care about. And that's basically the basic premise of it. Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow thinks that this Draco guy is dead. She thought she killed him and a daughter, and then she finds out that he's not dead. They get there's like an antidote, because basically Draco's controlling these Black Widows, this global force of Black Widows, via some sort of a chemical like manipulation, and they have basically this red vial of antidote, which essentially is there to and the antidote for this control, basically. And the whole thing is like Draco, I mean, it was synthesized, and Draco wants to sort of get that back, destroy it. So it's standard villain arc, so he can continue his control over the nations via the Black Widows, whatever. That's the gist of it. To be honest, I'm not going to lie. My most favorite parts of this movie were the family interactions, the banter between, Black Widow, her sister, Alexei, Yelena, who's the mother as well. That family scene around, I think, was quite fun. Even the banter with Black Widow and her sister. I mean, when she's kind of taking the mick out of Black Widow with like, this is your pose, and you're just such a poser, and you flick, and and like, what are you doing? That's just kind of, that was funny. And like I said, I'm not sure what her name is. Let me know what her name is in the comments, guys. But I felt she outshone Scarlett Johansson, and that's, I think, going to the criticism. One of the criticisms I have was like, Scarlett, I felt with her for acting, she didn't really. Maybe it's the nature of Black Widow, but bearing the different scenes, different tensions, emotions, like I felt that she never really changed and reacted to where she was. To be honest, she would just seem to just be the same throughout, and that was a bit disappointing. When her sister in the movie seemed to be able to have much more acting range than Scarlett Johansson, in my personal opinion. I also think one of the criticisms that I have going to this is just as we go into the final act. We know more about this Taskmaster character. So Taskmaster, who saw in the trailers, in the comics, he's basically a mercenary guy whose ability to mimic other people's abilities and then add that onto his own repertoire is second. So it makes him a dangerous fighter. And you see a bit of that, which I really liked at the start of the movie, where he does it and he fights, Black Widow, and she gets her ass kicked. Although she manages to still get the vials. and you're thinking, okay, they're going to build on that, but they don't really build on it at all, really. It only seems to happen for the first scene. It's thrown away, and then Taskmaster just becomes almost like a better lackey, essentially. And then you find out that Taskmaster is basically the daughter of Draco, who's being controlled, who you find out Scarlett Johansson nearly killed, thought she killed. And for me, once again, this is another case of Disney, Disney just terrible with villains outside of Loki and Thanos. And a character like Taskmaster that has such a rich comic history being reduced to basically a lackey with a daughter who we don't really know what's going to happen to. I think she's basically going, I assume maybe she's going to lead, in quotes, this Black Widow, new Black Widow force where they're all free to make their own choices or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they become a band of mercenaries. I don't know, but it's just very, very. I know. I just felt that the way the character handle wasn't great, given the source material what they have, and then even just at the end where they freed them all, but it's kind of like, well, so is that it? Like, you mean to tell me that this man was taken out like that, the big bad Draco? That's it, and there's no, gap. There's no. It just seemed to be a bit lackluster. The ending, at least in my opinion. Although the action scenes, the cinematography was decent. Shout out to my boy Alexei. I did think that a lot of the male characters in this movie were. I don't think there was a single positive male character in this movie, really. I mean, Alexei is pretty much a sort of a dumb, drunk Russian kind of beer belly stereotype. Obviously, Draco is an evil, manipulative shrew, and then the guy who even helps get Scarlett her staff, is a good friend, is kind of just a beta guy. And they take the mick out of him. So it's kind of like, but it is what it is. It's a Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's movie, and at the end of the day, despite all those criticism, that said, it is a solid movie. I think it is worth going to get to it. Shout out to the post-credit scene. I think that was supposed to be Contessa's first appearance in the MCU, but it turns out that obviously the movie was delayed. Her first appearance was in Captain America, Falcon Winter Soldier. So it'd be interesting to see. I don't know what she's doing. My theory is that she's a Skrull and that she's using her influence to manipulate things. That's my theory. But the fact that she's now manipulated Black Widow's sister to go after Hawkeye, maybe she's assembling her own sorts of Avengers S team, a Dark Avengers type situation. That could be, because they said Dark Avengers, so that's possible. If you're setting up Dark Avengers, that would be sweet. But who knows? Looking forward to it. But yeah, in my opinion, 3 out of 5 stars out of 10, solid 7 out of 10 movie, but it could have been better. Anyway, guys, hope you like that. Let me know your thoughts on the Black Widow movie. Have a nice day, everyone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Marvel. Take care, and cheers.